Weekday mornings 7 to 9.
Nothing says good morning like a drunken human alarm clock.
We're live from the J. Michaels studio.
We all know he loves the Florida Gators, but that's okay.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
I can control the world.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a variety of clouds and flurries with an accumulation between 1 and 2 inches and a high of 42 with a blustery wind around 18 miles per hour out of the north. For tonight, flurries and mostly clouds and a low near 27. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high around 39. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover Kia at Bill Bird Kia. The road is yours in 2025. Let Kia take you on New Year adventures and drive away today in a new 2025 Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. We'll treat you like family and give you the peace of mind you can trust.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia Sportage with $1,748 per month per 1,000 finance and 60 months. Quality's limited, not to be combined with other finance offers. Not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 2/3/25.
Don't just wait for the big game. Bet on big playoff games every weekend. Only on Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us and turn playoff predictions into paydays. If your team's season is already over,
looks like they're headed home early.
It only takes $1 to make any game interesting.
And we're back. What a game.
Download Hard Rock Bet. Win your first bet or get up to $100 back in bonus bets. Payable in bonus bet up to $100. Not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Reliable Copy Products is proud to be the exclusive dealer in Northwest Florida for Kyocera office equipment. Reliable Copy Products has been committed to providing professional, personalized service for the last 35 years. They understand that the right equipment does not always fall within today's budget requirements, so they offer several options for the equipment you need today for the growth you expect tomorrow. Call James Smothers at 784-6601. 784-6601. Reliable Copy Products on Harrison Avenue, just north of Bay High School.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Your home for Super Bowl 59. WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota, ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now, we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you got in the bag.
The Inside Drive. From college to the pros, interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Tuesday morning. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. 104.3 here in Panama City and Panama City Beach. 101.9 in Port St. Joe. As of now, Nice and clear and sunny out there. Just a little bit windy, but as Winter Storm Enzo, David, moves along the Florida Panhandle, we're getting
spaghetti for dinner tonight. If we're going to have an Italian winter storm, it's time for spaghetti.
That's it. Absolutely. Nice and warm spaghetti, that is for sure. But yes, everybody stay weather aware out there. Breaking news, the Callaway Walmart is officially out of snow shovels.
I mean, they have like 2.
I think that's the joke, is they didn't have any to begin with.
Okay, but I mean, you could normally get something that's similar to Home Depot.
Yeah, definitely. You could get.
I wouldn't go to Walmart for my
for your snow shoveling.
I don't even know if Walmart has shovels. It's just not a place I go to for tools.
That's true. You think it'd be the blue or the orange stores? Yeah, for sure. But yeah, if you were trying to find one, they do not have any left.
Better hope Amazon can drop a drone down to you.
Quickly, indeed. Looking at the Weather Channel here in studio, looks like over there in NOLA, New Orleans, Lafayette, all that area, getting quite a bit of snow over there. I don't know if we're going to get that same kind of snow just because the temperature, what time it gets to us. I just worry that it's going to be more freezing rain and that icy stuff, which isn't good. Make sure you charge your devices, all those things, as we could lose power for a little while. A lot of overhead power lines around here, and that wet snow and that ice is certainly heavier than they're used to having. So just make sure you've got ways to charge your stuff, and if you have generators from hurricanes, you might want to break them out for the winter storm Enzo here. Who knows? Just depends on your threshold of how many blankets you can handle to stay warm.
Or get outside and play in the snow.
Yeah,
it doesn't happen very often if you're without power for a little while, as long as the power lines ain't falling on your house. Enjoy the moments that you can be without your devices.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. No internet, no power, all those things may, actually be a good thing. Who knows? But yeah, you guys are listening to the Inside Drive. Is Jay here? No. Did we expect him to be here?
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, he said he got out of town. Where did he go?
I don't know, man. It's so funny because he texted us at 6:30 this morning, and I just so happened to just wake up, and I'm laughing in my bed like, there's no way. We just talked about, where are you going to go for a snowstorm, Jay? It's not like the end of the world is coming, like we're about to get blown away or something.
By tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be like a normal day again.
It's all right. No lessons for Jay, so Jay's like, you know what, I'm taking off.
Absolutely. Maybe he's
headed deeper into the storm.
I'm looking at this radar here, and if you're going into that southwest Georgia quadrant, it looks like it's going to snow there, too.
Yeah, so Jay, you ain't missing nothing.
Maybe he's just trying to get to some hills so he can do some sledding.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, if it does snow, because I don't know if any of my help's going to be here for the afternoon underdog, so I don't know if I'm going to have a show this afternoon or not. I'm going to try my best.
We'll see how it goes.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what's popping. But if it does start snowing, I'll probably go get me a trash can lid off of somewhere and
that's it.
See what I can make happen.
Just got to find some.
You got to make the best of what you're dealt with.
What, 1989 is the last time this
December 22nd, 1989, but that was an actual blizzard. So
okay.
I don't. Who knows?
Yeah.
The Lord could just whip it up real quick and hit us with a couple of McFlurries, but McDonald's ice cream machine doesn't normally work, or the flurry machine. So.
Yeah, when you want it, it doesn't. When you don't, it is.
Right.
But
I do hope I really hope that. I hope that it snows tremendously.
Yeah.
And I hope everyone stays safe, and I hope you drivers just stay off the road.
That's it. That's
y'all,
it's a whole nother ballgame.
Maybe it's the transplants. I don't know what it is, but just the driving here in Bay County has really deteriorated over the last, let's call it 6 or 7 years. And you can't drive in the snow. Lord knows you ain't going to be driving too well. Or you can't drive in the sun.
In the regular, let alone the snow. Yeah, snow's a whole nother ballgame. If you've never tried to you should never ever try to drive in snow. Sometimes you have to, but it's just you just don't have traction. It's like trying to run, on an ice rink. It just doesn't work, and it becomes very dangerous not only for you but for other people as well. But yeah, we are hanging out here in the studio. Jay-less. Jay, where do we download that? Oh, it's inside the Google Play or the Apple Store. All you can do is search 104.3. While you're in there, enter the Holland Hearts ESPN Northwest Florida Magic Express contest. That's an opportunity to win 2 passes to watch the Orlando Magic host the Sacramento Kings on Saturday, March 29th. You'll get to watch the game from a luxury suite. Free food. Hotel is included this time. We appreciate PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Holland Hearts, Fairfield Inn, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, as well as Home 2 Suites for making this contest happen. Again, all you got to do is have our app downloaded. If you don't have it downloaded, just find it in the Google Play or Apple Store. 104.3 is all you got to search. You open it up, you find that enter contest button. You just enter the contest. Super, super easy to do. All right, Ohio State University, first time in about 10 years, becomes national champion again. First time winner of the 12-team college football playoff. Kind of an interesting game, got out to a 37-0 lead. You kind of thought at that point, even I kind of stopped watching it kind of entirely at that point, just because.
It was the last game, so I just
stuck it out. Yeah, we were watching some other, like murder show or something like that, so it took precedence. But anyway,
live sports always takes precedence.
That's true. But yeah,
household by household.
Yeah, no. Sometimes you get overruled, and that's how it works.
Yep.
That's how it works. But anyway, Notre Dame did fight back, and kudos to Riley Leonard for trying to do some things, and and the field goal kick. A lot of people were like, well, "Why did he go for the field goal? Why did he go?" Well, why did he go for the field goal?
It was dumb.
Yeah, and then he missed it anyway, so it's kind of like you shouldn't have went.
But even no,
it didn't change. It was a 2-score game either way, right?
And so I guess you go from being down 15 at that point to being down 12. So that doesn't really help you out in any stretch in any world of football.
Nope.
It doesn't help you out. So I'm not sure why he did it. Then you get the answer of, what are you doing as soon as you kick the 27-yard field goal? Yeah, and that's just, man, bad coaching for a guy who's done really well to get Notre Dame to this point. Terrible decision. And at that point, you just, if you don't get it right there, look, they're at their, 11-yard line or so?
Yeah.
So let your defense, play strong because they
did recover a fumble on that next drive.
Yeah. So it really canceled out. It did end up canceling out, but because they went down and scored.
Yeah.
So really, but at the end of the day, you save more time because who knows? Do they score right there? Do you get a pass interference? There's so many little things that could happen that could change the complexion, the perplexion of that game. And no one liked the call right there. I don't know anyone who could make sense of it.
Yeah, very interesting. And sometimes in these huge stages, your mind gets a little clouded and you don't make the right decision. But they did have a chance at the end of the game, trying to come back there and make it happen. But Ohio State just too tough for Notre Dame. The players were better. Obviously, Chip Kelly was firing some pretty cool plays early on in that game and getting Jeremiah Smith and open on those crazy reroutes and stuff like that. It was pretty cool to see. But I want to talk about I want to talk about this, David. Obviously, everybody, really the Ohio State contingencies, the ones that remind me a little bit about the Fire DeBoer contingency. When Ryan Day lost to Michigan, they're all like,
it's time to fire Ryan Day.
Yeah, it's time to fire Ryan Day. Well, I think you'd take the loss to Michigan for a national championship. But that brings me to the question. We talk about this all the time just in youth sports. I mean, sometimes it's important, losing a game could be more beneficial than winning every game. And you think this scenario, obviously losing to Michigan, you never want to lose to your rival, of course. And obviously that took them out of the Big Ten championship game. But do you think that loss kind of redirected their focus and helped kind of get them on the right track for this really challenging college football playoff run?
I don't think there's any question about that kind of springboarding them into the playoffs and giving them a big chip on their shoulder. And even, fans of Ohio State were thinking, what are we going to do here in the playoffs? It didn't feel like they were a championship caliber team anymore to some of their fans. But Ohio State became in the playoffs the team that everyone expected them to be throughout the season.
Yeah.
They looked good and dominant against Oregon in the regular season. They didn't in any other big game that they had, and then one other game, Nebraska, they didn't look really good in that game. That kind of came down to the wire a little bit. Penn State, they didn't look too dominant in that game, but then they lose to Michigan after getting dominated, and it hit the reset button, and those guys came together. And I think the same way with Notre Dame, though. I think Notre Dame drops one further further on down the road, and then that could have looked uglier than maybe the ugliest loss in all of college football last year against Northern Illinois. So it's exactly what they needed. As much as you hate to say it, when you're Ohio State, you want to beat the team up north. You're Alabama, you want to beat Auburn. Like, those are the things. But sometimes
win a national championship.
I think it depends on the fan. I really do. No,
that's crazy.
Serious.
That's crazy.
Right,
I believe you.
There's fans out there who, like, to them, Michigan is the championship because they've been following Ohio State before you played games for the national championship. So to them, they don't want to lose that game because that's bragging rights with their buddies or their rivals or their fellow employees. So I think that it's fan by fan, but for the large contingency, I would say yes, you're 100% right. You would trade that loss for a national championship every single day. And now you look at it from the standpoint of, with the expanded playoffs, I mean, the teams that they beat throughout the year, they fell to Oregon, they fell to Michigan, but with the Tennessee, the Oregon rematch win, Notre Dame, I mean, the Texas, the teams that they beat, they have an argument, to be one of the best teams assembled throughout college football. I mean, and Will Howard, he really became,
watching that guy play these last 4 or 5 games, he looked like a completely different quarterback.
It's like Kansas State, what is you doing, baby? Because they essentially let him go in favor of Avery Johnson. And, hey, that's great to get Avery Johnson a jump start on his career. But, man, in this day and age of quarterbacks, think about what that could, why let him go? And then, Ohio State was able to reap the benefits of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and that's kind of the modern day college football going on right now. Obviously, transfers, but a lot of these Ohio State guys, they were recruited there, they were brought there out of high school, and they were developed, and they really only used the transfer portal to kind of fill some of those gaps. Obviously,
they filled them with with
superstars. Yeah,
it spent $20 million on the roster. Not taking anything away from it. That's the day and age of college football that we live in, but Caleb Downs, Will Howard, Quinshon Judkins, like just with those 3 names right there. And yes, again, you're right. They did a lot of this is homegrown, but they used the transfer portal really to perfection to a large extent, especially when you talk about how good of a running back Travion Henderson is on his own. For him to be like, you know what, coach, what's best for the team? If you want to bring in Quinshon Judkins here, because look how huge Quinshon was in the game last night.
Massive. I mean, between him and Caleb Downs, obviously Caleb Downs has been a huge impact, not only on playing safety, but returning kicks. I mean, but yeah, I mean, and it goes back to. I still think growing your team from high school recruiting is your base, and you have to use the transfer. You have to use the transfer portal to fill those holes. And obviously, if you're a team that's competing for a national championship, you're going to have a good opportunity to pull some of those big time transfer portal players. Ohio State University is the first team to set a single season record having the most wins against AP top 5 teams. And the majority of those, actually all of them, came in their playoff run. When they beat Penn State 20-13, they were number 3 in the land. They beat Indiana, they were number 5 in the land. Oregon was number 1, Texas number 4, and then last night in the national championship against Notre Dame. They won that one 34-23. That's 5 top 5 wins in one season. Pretty impressive stuff there from the Ohio State Buckeyes.
It is, man. They had a great season. They won the 2014 inaugural college football playoff with just 4 teams. They win the 2024-2025 college football playoff and the first installment of 12 teams. And they wouldn't be in the 14 playoff last year, which I think goes to show, regardless of how the seeding works out or whatever, this was a success. Having the 12-team college football playoff, we got a lot more meaningful, and I don't like to use that term, but it is how people look at the game these days. It was a great playoff, and it culminated in, you know what, kudos to Notre Dame. No one's really talking about this, but that could have been a game that, I mean, people were tuning out before halftime. Yeah. Once they scored, with the touchdown.
You just didn't feel like Notre Dame was built to come back.
They weren't a team that, and that was very impressive for them to do that, especially with the bad call. You got 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. There's no shot, right? And then they're one defensive play away, which I don't understand that either. Is, man, listen, I know that they've been running the ball, and you feel like you want them to that they want you to use your last time out. But my goodness, man, you can't let Jeremiah Smith, the best wide receiver in college football, he is the best wide receiver in college football. Yeah. And you can't let him, one-on-one, no, man. And then, I can't remember the cornerback who was on him, but to not even jam him at the line, to not even give him any type of resistance, man, the game is on the line. It's your last game of college football. Oh, man, tough, but hey, Will Howard made it happen, and then, the field goal kicker comes on, puts the game out of reach, and that was pretty much all she wrote at that point in time.
That was. As soon as he caught that, I think everybody kind of knew that, this one's pretty much over. But hey, like you said, kudos to Notre Dame. They fought till the very end, and they could have easily laid over or just turned over and laid down and let Ohio State beat them even more handedly. But they didn't, and that's kind of what you want out of a national championship game. David Hayes, what do you think about this whole Monday national championship thing? Not only just the Monday national championship.
People complaining about it.
Well, what about the fact that they do it after the divisional rounds? Like you've got these fantastic.
So you're saying push it off 7 more weeks till they get to 7 more days.
Do it
until
before the divisional round games. I don't know how you would. You'd have to do it. I don't know.
Man, the further we can get into January, knowing that we've got college football, and for me, it's the no one complains about the college basketball game being on a Monday. That's always on a Monday.
I hate it on a Monday.
I get it, but to me, a different realm.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
A different realm for me, but it's something to look for. Like, we watch, no one complains about Monday Night Football.
Yeah, and I think that's why they do it on a Monday, is because they're trying to make it like a Monday night football.
Like, no one complains about going home on Monday night and, watching the game. I don't really get the argument. I get... What I do get about it is that college football is primarily played on Saturday. Now, what you could do, because there was a big argument in our group chat about this last night, and I was just watching them go back and forth, wasn't really participating in the debate because I'm kind of an is what it is guy. Like, my whole life, I can't remember not watching a national championship game on a Monday.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just kind of how it was.
The national championship's on Monday.
Like the BCS national championship, that was on Monday.
It was on a Monday.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like, that's just how I've grown up, so I don't expect it to be any different. But if you were to try to play it on a Saturday, it would have to be the divisional round of the playoffs. Yeah. So the Saturday games normally start. Yeah. Well, they normally start at 3:30. Right, so you could start the game at 12 o'clock. Then you're going to have people complaining about,
early.
Why are we having the biggest college football game of the year at a big noon kickoff? And Ohio State's played plenty of big noon kickoffs this year. So just not. I have no issue with it being on a Monday. I think that you could look at it with a positive spin on. Yeah. Hey, it's
nothing else would normally be on.
Right, exactly. Yeah. What else would you be watching on that Monday?
Good question. Good question. I just wanted to
murder mysteries.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The ID channel, But yeah, and obviously, of course, the Super Bowl is always debated because it's on a Sunday, but the NFL is always played on Sunday, so it's kind of
right. And you don't want to get into that battle with the NFL. Like, maybe if they give you a pass, maybe you can make something happen. But because if the NFL wants to, they'll be like, you know what, we'll move ours up an hour or so to give you no time.
Yeah,
to play that
put
game.
the kibosh on you and be like, nope, you don't battle us.
And a lot of people would watch the college football national championship, but a lot more are going to watch the NFL because the NFL proves over and over and over and over again that it's the king of television, period.
Period. And their games are faster too. Like that game last night, man, it was like I posted on Facebook. I felt like I was watching commercials with a football game in. And I get it. It's all about money. But man, it was tough last night.
Here's my issue with that, though. They lie to us and say we're
changing the rule.
The clock rules. We're going to change the clock rules in order to get the games going. And it's like, no, you've added. All you've done is just shoved more advertising in our face, and that part is annoying. Because why are NFL games going so much faster?
Yep.
And I mean, a college football game nearly lasts 4 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
typically.
I think I saw something that said they got 2 NFL oh no, this is a golf thing. Never mind. Keep going.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's just
it's money. It's money.
Well,
but yeah,
it
why?
have to do with money, but I could look how much money the NFL makes. But a lot of that also has to do with halftime now,
True.
because you do have the longer halftime,
NFL
and that's
halftime's
about
so fast.
right. It's like 12 minutes, whereas for college football, it's about 17 to 20 minutes. And they do add more for the championship games and all that good stuff. So yes, there's a part of it that has to do with money. The large amount of it has to do with money, and then also secondarily, halftime of college football lasts longer than what the NFL does.
Yeah. Was that halftime show yesterday? Was that actually happening live? Did you watch that?
Are you talking about the Trump thing?
No, the guy on the roof.
I have no idea.
I don't even remember who the performer was.
But I can't remember ever a president coming on.
Yeah.
That was wild to me.
That was wild too. But yeah, the halftime show was weird. He was like on the roof from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I'm
There's
like,
no way that was real.
and it looked. I mean, and it just looked AI as all could be, and I was like, what is going on? This isn't real life. But anyway, we got to take a break. We got to get Doc A on the line. It's Tuesday, and we got to make sure he's doing okay and keeping us up to date on the NBA action going on right now. You guys are listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
You are my son. What was the question again? Sorry.
I don't know. Has Alabama played
Can we focus?
in basketball?
No, they have not played yet.
ADH, can you get with the program here? Please have a withdrawal since the football season being over already.
I know, man. Can you believe it's over with? What a season. It was so long.
It was.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a variety of clouds and flurries with an accumulation between 1 and 2 inches and a high of 42 with a blustery wind around 18 miles per hour out of the north. For tonight, flurries and mostly clouds and a low near 27. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high around 39. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance. But Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor-recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. And now...
Doctor, my eyes.
Doc A joins the Inside Drive. It's just what the doctor orders.
Oh, doctor.
Talk to your doctor before use. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got the man, the myth, the legend. That is Doc A on the line with us. Doc, we are just down here preparing for Winter Storm Enzo to make its way over here into the Bay County, Panama City Beach area. How are you doing up there in the greater Atlanta area?
It was supposed to be all below Atlanta, and I'm north of Atlanta, but then they changed it this morning. We're supposed to get a little bit.
Just saw that.
Up here where I am, which is cool. I'm a fan of snow.
A snow fan, some might say.
Snow fan.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. You got any cool snow stories from your time up there?
Not really. Well, my driveway is like straight uphill. Like deliveries are a problem. We had an Amazon truck fall off our driveway and into the woods.
Woo.
And when it snows or ices here, and it's trash day, I've had to put on the golf spikes and get the trash can up to the top of the driveway.
Man, you got a it's very, especially on the north side of Atlanta, extremely hilly up there, and that had to be a day when the Amazon truck came up, fell off your driveway.
Yeah, for now they just drop stuff off up at the top in the middle of the street. Like they don't even mess with it anymore.
Yeah, makes sense. Now, was it last week or a couple weeks ago where you guys got some snow and ice?
Yeah, I think it was. Well, when was it? Was it last week?
I can't remember now. It's all blending together.
A week ago.
Yeah. So we're preparing down here. Obviously, we don't have. I grew up in the Northeast, so snow is a normal thing. But obviously, in those areas, you have the preparations for it. You have the salt. You have all that stuff. But down here, we don't. It's been 36 years. 1989 was the last blizzard. Now, this isn't going to be quite a blizzard. Hopefully, it's just snow and not too much ice. But get everybody pretty excited down here. That's for sure.
Oh man, I bet people are fired up down there, man. Like
everybody just wants to see snow. That's what they want. Yep. My son has never seen snow, so he shared with us today that his birthday wish every year is to see snow. So hopefully that'll come to fruition a little bit later on today for him, without too much craziness going on here in Bay County as well.
I wonder how long you guys will be out of school.
Well, we're officially out of school tomorrow as well, but I think by the time tomorrow evening rolls around, temperature's supposed to get back up into the mid-upper 40s, so I think anything that's on the ground will probably be gone. It's not like our ground temperatures are real cold anyway, so a lot of stuff is going to take a lot of precipitation of snow to have some serious accumulation. So, but
here, if it snows here, there's so many. Like we literally live in the mountains, so. There's so many trees and so much shade and so many, just tiny roads that are straight up or downhill that buses can't get to. So, I mean, usually if we get 4 inches, we're done for a week.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, you got to be safe. Yeah, I mean, growing up where I grew up, it would take, to be out of snow for school for a week, you were talking a foot to 18 inches easily, just because you're prepared. You got the salt, you got the plows, you got all that stuff. But the bad part was you always had to make it up at the back end of the year. So, do you want to be out of school for a week in January, but then have to go for an extra week in the summer? I don't know. The trade-off is tough. Sometimes in the moment it seems better, but then when you're still going to school for another week after school should have already been over, it doesn't seem so good.
I think I was 10 years old to the blizzard of '78 in Indiana, which was the biggest, like one of the biggest ones of all time, and that was literally the best 2 or 3 weeks of my life, I think.
Memories you will always remember, no doubt about it. Yeah, we had one. It was around Martin Luther King Day, because I remember it started that Monday. We weren't supposed to have school, but it was like, 30 inches of snow or something like that in a couple days. So it was an absolute disaster. But hey, like you said, you remember that. You just go spend all day running around in the snow. You actually end up getting sweaty, and then you're just tired and exhausted. And yeah, those are the good old days. That's for sure. All right, Doc, let's pivot to some NBA action. I know Jimmy Butler is still in topic of conversation. He's back playing with the Heat now, but he has made it very, very clear that he only wants to go to the Suns. With all that being said, is he still a good, legitimate fantasy option?
No.
Okay.
No. He really wasn't all year. He misses too many games. He doesn't shoot threes. He's a problem child. Nothing about what's going on with Jimmy Butler surprises me. I think I've got like 8 teams, and he's not on any of them. And the guys I work with, none of them have him either. And I think if you have him, you're sort of like Pat Riley in the Heat. You're just sort of stuck.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants him.
Yep. Because they don't want to deal with his issues.
No.
Yeah.
And, he comes out, Martin Luther King Day and has 8 points. Like, thanks, Jimmy. Great job.
Oh, Jimmy Butler. The saga continues. Well, besides Jimmy, I ask you every week, who are some of the guys that you've been putting on your team and suggesting other people put on their team this particular week in basketball?
I feel like I've been talking about Scoot Henderson of the Blazers
Just a great game, too.
Every week, and I hope you listen, because he's gone absolutely ballistic for the last 4 games. And then the guy that nobody really talks about or you never hear about because he plays in Utah is this kid, Isaiah Collier. And he's had 3 or 4 really pretty good games in a row. And he's another one that I'm picking him up everywhere right now. And the Khalil Ware, who is a big man for the Heat, and yeah, he has to deal with Bam Adebayo, but he's been putting up blocks and threes and cool fantasy numbers across the board. And if the Heat blow this thing up and decide to start over from scratch, he could be a real season, silly season hero, as I like to call it. Silly season is the last month of the season when teams are shutting all their veterans down and the playoffs have sort of been decided, and then you have these guys that sort of come out of nowhere and go nuts for a couple weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard to believe. I mean, we're pretty much, about halfway through the season, getting Cleveland Cavs played 42 games, so they're pretty much right on halfway right now. I know we're getting close to the All-Star break, but, man, as quick as it comes, just like any sport, it goes by super fast. So with that being said, obviously, the Cavs and the Thunder way ahead in their respective conferences. Is it just a two-team race going down to the finals, or do you think teams like the Celtics and the Knicks and the Rockets are going to have something to say this second half of the season?
Yeah, I don't think this is not over by any stretch. I mean, Cleveland has been so hot all year, and you still look at them on paper, and they don't look like they should be as dominant as they have been. And you still have Boston, you still have the Knicks, you still have the Bucks, the Pacers and Hawks are playing well. Your Magic are doing pretty well. I think that's sort of where it stops. I think down to the Magic, any of those teams could pull it off in a win over Cleveland. I think Cleveland is the favorite still, but they're not just head and shoulders above everybody else in the East.
Yeah, makes sense. Right now, the NBA championship odds actually have the Boston Celtics, according to DraftKings anyway, at plus 250, the OKC Thunder plus 260, and then the Cleveland Cavaliers at plus 850. So some decent value there for the Eastern Conference leading Cleveland Cavaliers at almost 9-1, and then it drops off significantly to the Knicks, Nuggets, Mavericks, Bucks, and Grizzlies, and beyond. So according to Vegas, they still think Boston, but, until you knock off the champs, you got to give them that look, that's for sure. What about... Go ahead, sorry.
Boston killed Golden State last night. And you remember Steve Kerr benched Jason Tatum during the Olympics.
Yep.
And
little revenge game.
They don't like each other. And Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum were talking to Steph Curry after the game, dapping and hugging. And Kerr kind of went over to say hi to those guys, and they wouldn't even look at him. It was cool. It was some real cold shoulder stuff.
I like it. That's always good for conversation and entertainment when you got those little side stories going on. Doc, I usually start asking you about this about halfway through the season, but regular season MVP. If you were looking at somebody right now and you had to make a decision on who would you bet? Obviously, SGA is currently the odds-on favorite, pretty significantly too, I might add. And then Nikola Jokic is second at plus 275. And then it drops off significantly. Anybody else out there you think can kind of make a run at this MVP besides SGA and Jokic?
Jason Tatum.
65-1 right now would not be a bad bet if you catch a little fire that second half of the season.
I mean, they need to catch Cleveland probably for that to happen, and they're 6.5 games behind them, which is mind-blowing to me. I would think that Donovan Mitchell would be in some conversation. And Karl Anthony Towns for the Knicks. If the Knicks get hot, I think Karl Anthony Towns is a legitimate candidate. But, I mean, I'm with Vegas on this one. SGA and the Thunder, to me, he's the MVP.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, according to DraftKings, he's minus 320, so certainly looking that way, at least halfway through the season. Doc, you did some picks last week, and you did pretty fantastic. You picked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games, and you only got two, against the spread, I might add. You only got 2 of them wrong. The ones you got wrong were the Pacers with the +8 against the Cavs, and then the Trailblazers with the -6 against the Nets. But you did get the Thunder and the Sixers, the Suns and the Hawks, the Kings and the Bucks, the Nuggets and the Mavs, in addition to the Jokic triple-double. So if anybody was listening last Tuesday and parlayed the Nuggets at -4 plus a Jokic triple-double, it probably would have paid you some pretty decent odds based on what you bet on it. So,
as I recall, he barely got that triple-double. It was like 10 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists or something. I could be wrong about that, but
still got it.
I just saw a triple-double, and I was like, oh, my gosh, that was good.
That was good. That was a double yes on that one. Double yes on that one. So that brings me to some games coming up tonight. I'm going to do the same thing as we did last week. I'll give you the matchup. I'll give you the spread, and then you let me and our listeners know which way to go. First, we'll start with the Knicks at the Nets. The Nets are getting 11.5 at home against the Knickerbockers. There's some big numbers in these games tonight, by the way.
Yeah, but Brooklyn's terrible. New York should win that game by 12 points. I'm going to go with the Knicks, even though it makes me nervous.
All right, going with the Knicks.
That game's on TNT too, so everybody can watch it.
There you go. Should be early game and then a late game on TNT.
Yep.
All right, next we got the Trailblazers at the Heat. The Heat are an 11.5 point favorite at home.
Give me Scoot Henderson. He's hot. I'll go with Portland.
Such a great name.
That's too many points for a team that Jimmy Butler's trying to sink.
Yeah, almost a dozen. Yeah, that's nuts. All right, next we got the Panama City Beach Contingencies, Orlando Magic at the Raptors, and the Magic are only giving up 1.5 points on the road.
Yeah, that's because they're on the road, and Jalen Suggs is hurt. Goga's hurt. But I'm still going Orlando because Toronto's in the tank.
Gotcha. All right. So the Magic -1.5 in that one. So far, all the road teams. The 76ers at the Nuggets. I'm assuming old Ben is not playing because the Nuggets are a 13.5 point favorite at home.
Yeah, Joel Embiid he refuses to face up head-to-head against Jokic. And it's I mean, we make fun of him all the time. It's pathetic. I'm not a Joel Embiid guy. Give me the Nuggets. Give me the home team for once. That is the late game on TNT, by the way.
There you go. All right, the Nuggets -13.5, and then last but not least, the Wizards at the Lakers. The Lakers are a 13.5 point favorite at home.
Man, it's a lot of points. It's a lot of points, and the Lakers aren't that good. But I'm still going with the Lakers.
All right. So you got Knicks, Trailblazers, Magic, Nuggets, Lakers. That is and those are all with the spread, I might add. Doc, what'd you think of the? Well, we got a few minutes left here. What'd you think of the national championship last night?
Notre Dame got off to a great start, and then they just didn't do anything for like an hour and a half. And I'm sitting here, just like, oh, this is boring. Like, it was a weird national championship game. And in fact, it was on a Monday night. In fact, the inauguration was going on all day at the same time. And then the fact that you had MLK basketball going on all day and all night, it seemed to dampen the mood for the national championship game. I don't know. I had Notre Dame +8. They're kicking a field goal to cut a date. Right, and I'm like, oh, this is good. And then he misses the field goal. And I'm like, make kickers great again. It seems like there's more missed field goals in football now than there ever was back in the day. And I don't know how that's possible. I mean, guys can kick 55-yarders like they're nothing, but there's so many clutch shorties and extra points missed that it's kind of bizarre. But I was hoping Notre Dame was going to come back at the end and make it a little closer, but Ohio State was the better team by far.
Yeah, no doubt.
Clearly.
It's clearly the best team in the playoffs, the way they kind of manhandled their playoff schedule after losing to Michigan. Real quick, Doc, on the NFL side of things, the 4 teams left, obviously the Chiefs and the Bills in the AFC Championship, and then the Eagles and the shocking Commanders. Who do you like from each conference to advance to the Super Bowl?
I'm going to go with the two teams that probably aren't going to win because that's how I roll.
The Murphy's Law effect.
I'm going with the Bills because I can't do any more Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift and any of the Kelseys, including Mom. I'm almost over all of it, dude. And the referees, give me the Bills and Josh Allen, who got lucky last week.
They did.
And give me Jaden Daniels, man. Give me the rookie.
The Rook, trying to make it to the Super Bowl. First ever rookie quarterback.
Let's just finish it off, and let's go win the Super Bowl and maybe get you an MVP. Like, what an incredible season, man.
Just nuts. Good stuff for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders, and really, the Giants and the Cowboys are getting deeper and deeper in a hole with how obviously stacked the Eagles roster is, and then of course what the Commanders are doing with Jaden Daniels, and really only one Pro Bowler on that team. But Doc, we appreciate. Good.
You ever wake up and thank the Lord that you're not a Cowboys fan?
Most days.
Because
especially being an Niners fan.
It's not fun, man. I actually feel sorry for some of those people. It's bad enough being a Falcons fan, but my God, the Cowboys, come on.
Yeah. There's some, there's some franchises that win, and there's some franchises that don't. And I think, looking at Detroit, what happened to them with the Commanders, they're just a franchise, unfortunately, that just doesn't win. It's kind of like the Falcons.
Dallas does win.
It's just been a long time. It's just been a long time. Both
unlike the Falcons, who have never won. So
that's true.
All right, man. Enjoy your snowstorm.
Oh, yes. And, it's getting ever so closer.
Get out there and make a snowman.
I'm going to build a snowman, Doc. You got that. We appreciate you coming on, as always. Have a great rest of your week, and we look forward to talking to you next Tuesday.
All right, see you guys.
All right, take care. It is slowly approaching the Panama City area. It's getting a little bit closer to Destin as we speak, but looking more and more like snow and less like ice, which is good news for everybody here in Bay County. You're listening to The Inside Drive. When we get back, I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we'll figure it out.
Weather in the Panhandle never stops. Turn to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with your latest forecast.
We're up to the minute weather reports all day long.
A chance of thunderstorms and moderate rain.
In-depth storm coverage.
Hurricane Helene.
And breaking weather as it happens.
We do have a tropical storm warning.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Ever have one of those days where your gut just feels blah?
Ugh, yes.
Occasional bloating or gas could be signs that your gut is out of balance. But Align Probiotic can help. Align 24/7 Digestive Support is a daily use probiotic with a unique strain to help relieve occasional digestive issues. It's the #1 doctor recommended brand. So when you feel the signs, it's time to try Align. Align Probiotic. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Experience a higher level of service. David Adamson Designer Jewelry has been providing you the very best of fine jewelry and repair in Lynn Haven for over 32 years. David has added Amber Anderson and Russ Clare, names you've known and trusted in PCB for years with your fine jewelry and watch needs. Find that one-of-a-kind engagement ring, that special anniversary gift, or something colorful just for you. Amber and Russ will find it or build it for you. Serving Bay County and beyond in Lynn Haven at the corner of Ohio Avenue and 9th. David Adamson Designer Jewelry.
The 3 New Donuts transforms Pop-Tart's most beloved flavors into delicious Krispy Kreme donut creations. Choose from Pop-Tart's Frosted Strawberry, Frosted Chocolatey Fudge, and the Frosted Brown Sugar Cinnamon Donuts. Only available at Krispy Kreme Donuts, next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan. Krispy Kreme Donuts since 1937, where you get them hot.
If you're not scanning while the cashier is begging, we're judging you a little.
Why am I working grocery store now.
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios at ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back to listen to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Enzo is an Italian and Spanish boy's name that means home ruler. It can also mean victory or blooming in Italian, and giant or ruler in Germanic. There you go. The home ruler. They're ruling everybody's home with the snowstorm. I was trying to figure out where did Enzo come from? You know, we got all these hurricanes that get
Beck Avenue.
That's true. They got good pizza.
Yeah, they do.
They do. It's fantastic. Fantastic. They should be using this as marketing somehow. I didn't know it was called Enzo until I flipped on the Weather Channel here in studio, and then it popped up Winter Storm Enzo. All right, David, you know I hate the Chiefs as much as the next guy, right?
I love them.
I know you do. But the narrative really doesn't follow true, and I think we talked a little bit about yesterday. The Chiefs have actually gotten the fewest help from refs since Mahomes became the starting quarterback. Since 2019, the Kansas City Chiefs rank first in total penalty yards, 21st in total penalty margin, 32nd in offensive penalties committed, EPA, and then 31st in defensive penalties committed, EPA. So one of the most penalized teams in the league the last, 7-8 years. So, yeah, there's certain instances where, there's bad calls in all sorts of games.
But they just don't get highlighted as much because the Chiefs are the team that everyone hates, and then they see it because they see these finishes, and it seems like the penalties are always at the most inopportune times, and quite frankly, they really are. Sometimes, but the fact is, when they replay the play that we see the penalty happening on, 7 times out of 10, I would say that's on the low spectrum there, the low side of the spectrum. There's a penalty there that is, more or less egregious. Yeah. Now, what they need to clean up is the penalties where, Patrick Mahomes is dancing down the sideline and fakes going out, and then now you're getting a rough in the passer, or you're getting out.
He knows it.
Oh, yeah, but if he's going to get caught, see, that's what I don't understand is if you can get away with something, right? We in sports across the board, if you can get away with a travel in basketball, you're going to do that. If you know that referee is not called, you're going to do that. If you can get away with stealing signs in baseball legally, not electronically, you're going to do that. If you get an edge, I don't understand why. I can't believe he's doing that. I can't believe he's trying to get 15 extra yards for his team. What kind of a quarterback does that? Watch more sports, bro.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, and we can pick and choose whatever we want. But I just, and again, I dislike Mahomes and the Chiefs as much as everybody. But I still can't die on that sword when the facts are the facts. And then another topic I wanted to get to you with, David, is what is? I mean, obviously Lamar Jackson is a fantastic player, and is one of the best ever play the quarterback position. But their playoff outcomes are just kind of bizarre. 2018, they lost in the wild card round, 19 in the divisional round, 20 in the divisional round, 22 in the wild card round. They did make it to the AFC Championship in 23, and I believe lost that one on there was a fumble late in the game on that one. And of course, they lost in the divisional round this year as well. What do you think it is about Lamar? He even came out and said that just he gets a little tighter in playoff games and just gets a little too overhyped and that kind of stuff. Whereas some of these guys that are just super successful in the playoffs, they don't.
Who's really been super successful in the playoffs lately, though?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. There's one guy, and not everyone is going to be able to be that guy. Josh Allen has had his fair share of kerfuffles in the playoffs. It normally happens a little bit later. Yeah, you would like to see the Ravens get past the obstacle of the divisional round, and maybe one day they will be able to. A couple of bad turnovers by Lamar, and then a terrible turnover by Mark Andrews, and then not being able to secure the 2-point conversion. It's those little things are the things that you got to get cleaned up. And there was someone played 3 different 2-point conversions this year that the Ravens have lost on, basically to end games to either win the game or to tie the game up, one being against the Steelers earlier in the season. Yeah. What do? They throw it to Mark Andrews in the flat. What does he do? Misses it. Then they're against the Packers. Same exact play, this time covered up nicely by the defensive back of the Green Bay Packers. I don't know if they intercepted it, but it was a incomplete 2-point conversion. Then you had the same issue with Mark Andrews there in the divisional game against the Bills. And yeah, those are things you got to clean up. I mean, the Bills didn't dominate you. And then you had Lamar Jackson had a wonderful drive to go down. My biggest issue with the Ravens is you ran the ball with the best running back or second best running back in the game 16 times. Yeah. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. That it's not like you were just getting blown out in the game that you had to get so far away from the run game. No, they had more explosive plays on one drive in the third quarter than the Bills had in the entirety of the game. I just don't understand why you get away from the run game, why you don't try to take up more of that clock, and then you end up causing yourself, some big-time turnovers. It's tough. I don't think that this should be a negative mark on Lamar's career. It's just one of those ones where, hey, Josh Allen's a really good quarterback too, and honestly, what he's doing with the Bills, despite what the numbers say, statistically speaking, on the case of MVP, you take Josh Allen off of those Buffalo Bills, they're a 4 or 5 win team. Yep. And their defense has, like 2019 LSU, their defense has grown throughout the season, but they are not, this team is not, name the wide receivers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you got Amari Cooper. What's he actually doing for the Buffalo
He hasn't done
Bills?
anything really since he's been there. He's been hurt more than he's been on the field.
Right. They got 2 really good tight ends.
And
James Cook is having a career-type year.
And Khalil Shakir has had he's
absolutely.
had the year he's needed
and
to
Matt
have.
Collins, both, right.
Yeah. And then he sprinkled Keon Coleman in there, and he's made some big plays. But, there's no superstar on that team. I mean, you got Josh Allen, and that's really it.
And they've started, because of what James Cook has been able to do, they've taken the ball out of Josh Allen's hands to an extent of making those bad turnovers.
And that was the criticism that he was getting, is he couldn't hold on to the ball.
Right. Well, hello,
Lamar.
Well, not even just, and I'm not trying to point out Lamar here. What I'm trying to say is you have a running back there that can do the same things for you. 16 carries for 86 yards. Double that up. It should have been 30 carries. All of us were talking about the week prior. Yep. It should have been 30 carries. And the fact that you didn't get to that while not really being blown out, I just don't get it. And, it's tough. But, hey, you have a little bit of money to play with here in the offseason. Get you and not having Zay Flowers. They didn't have Zay Flowers in this game, did they? Was he back?
No.
Yeah, so not having that, does hurt some. But get you another wide receiver to pair up with Zay Flowers next year, and you just got to, nose back to the grindstone.
Yeah. I mean, and a lot of people were asking me, who do you think is going to win the game? Like, the Ravens will win the game if Todd Monken sticks to running Derrick Henry a lot in this game. And how often did Derrick Henry get better as the game went on?
I've been watching him for his entire career.
And that's his MO, right? That's what
MO.
He does. The more touches you get to Derrick Henry, the more he wears down defenses. And, they had a chance to tie the game. Mark Andrews dropped the ball. So it's not like they were out of the game. So I hate to, really make this sound like it was this Ravens disaster. But it's just kind of, some teams they can't win those games when it really, really matters. And it's kind of like we were talking about just a second ago with Detroit and some of these franchises that they just have a tough time winning football. And, sometimes and I think Keith always said it best, the Atlanta Falcons, they just don't win. Detroit Lions, they had their opportunities. They just can't find ways to win. Even last year, up, 24-7 in the NFC Championship, and then just kind of watched it slowly dwindle away. And, I forgot how good Brock played last year in the playoffs against the Packers and the Lions in those 2 games. A lot of people have been criticizing Brock about this new contract. We'll get to that once it's time, but, he's only had 1 turnover in 6 playoff games as a starting quarterback. So there's some merit to be said how well you play in the playoffs, in addition to obviously the regular season as well. But
there absolutely is, and you can win MVPs all day long. But just like Peyton Manning will tell you, or any other great quarterback, Dan Marino.
I'm sure he'd trade in a few of those for a couple Lombardis. Yeah,
exactly, man. It's a team sport, and at the end of the day, you're living and dying by those guys in the locker room, and so all of y'all want the same thing and not just one thing, being the MVP. Everyone on that team plays for a Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. We win as a team, we lose as a team. It's what you want it to be. Man, there's a lot of snow coming down over there in Louisiana. That's some crazy stuff going on right now here in the South. But winter storm Enzo. Real quick, the men's college basketball rankings, the AP came out yesterday, and there's a lot of SEC at the top of that men's basketball rankings. And for the first time in their school history, and I don't know if it's first time this year, I think, but Auburn unanimously ranked number one. All 62 first-place votes going to those Auburn Tigers. We'll be joined by Brad Ball on Thursday, as we will not be live tomorrow, as we're going to, out of precaution, won't be doing a show tomorrow just to make sure the roads are safe. We got people driving, et cetera, et cetera. I don't believe the Coach James Hale show is going to be going tomorrow morning as well. The Duke Blue Devils are currently ranked number 2. That is the team that beat Auburn, the only loss Auburn has in their 17-1 record. The Iowa State Cyclones hanging out at number 3. One of their 2 losses was also to the Auburn Tigers. The Alabama Crimson Tide and the Auburn Tigers both inside the top 5. Alabama currently number 4 in the AP poll with a 15-3 record. Very much looking forward to the Iron Bowls of college basketball coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah, man. And that's actually how they end the season as well, up against
final
each other March
season.
8th. So that'll be nice.
No doubt.
Be nice to have a real basketball team on the. Oh, I'm just kidding.
There you go. There you go. Then the Florida Gators at 5th right now, 16-2, followed by the number 6 ranked Tennessee Volunteers. That is the next game coming up for the Auburn Tigers. That'll be right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It'll also be where College Game Day will be for the first time this year. That'll be at Neville Arena up there in Auburn, Alabama. So expect the students to be lined up for days to get great seats and tickets to that Tennessee-Auburn 6-1 matchup. The Houston Cougars come in at number 7, 14-3. Michigan State 16-2. The Kentucky Wildcats 14-4, followed by Marquette at 15-3. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 SEC basketball teams inside the top 10. With Purdue, Kansas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Oregon, Ole Miss, Illinois, Wisconsin, UConn, St. John's, Michigan, Missouri, West Virginia, Memphis, and Louisville rounding out your top 25. We got to go ahead and take a quick break. When we get back, we'll find some afternoon delight debriefs to talk about right here on the Inside Drive.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
Tua has, from my knowledge, has not done well against winning teams. So that is a knock on him. But also, when they seem to get in colder games, the whole team seems to shut down. That may be a leadership issue, head coach freezing on the sideline. I think they need to get tougher.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, a variety of clouds and flurries with an accumulation between 1 and 2 inches and a high of 42 with a blustery wind around 18 miles per hour out of the north. For tonight, flurries and mostly clouds and a low near 27. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high around 39. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hewitt Tire and Auto. Call 850-769-7323. Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing. Visit them online at HewittTire.com. On Airport Road in Panama City. 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Need a tow? Call Billy at Hometown Towing, 850-265-1562.
Your home for Super Bowl 59. WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
For the most complete NFL coverage.
And let's face it, all the great NFL quarterbacks have had mustaches.
It's the Inside Drive, live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
Joe Namath, Jeff Hostetler, Jeff George, Randall Cunningham, Mark Malone, Colt McCoy, Burt Reynolds, the guy from Barney Miller, Mike Farrell from MASH. The list goes on and on.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And we are back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Panama City and Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can watch, like, listen, comment, subscribe, share, and follow. That is Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Just search it up, ESPN Northwest Florida. 3 great local shows. Not necessarily tomorrow, but we got the Coach James Hale Show, normally from 7 to 9, the Inside Drive from 11 to 1. Of course, the afternoon underdogs from 4 to 6 p.m. All right here. You can listen to it live, or you can go back and watch it after the fact, whatever you would like to do. And, of course, you can also download our free mobile app inside the Google Play or Apple Store. Just search up 104.3, and you'll find that bad boy. While you download that, if you don't have it downloaded already, once you got it downloaded, open it up. You'll see an Enter Contest button. Once you see that Enter the Contest button, all you do is enter the contest. Really easy. That is the ESPN Northwest Florida Holland Hearts Magic Express. You can win yourself a pair of 2 passes to watch your Orlando Magic host the Sacramento Kings on Saturday, March 29th from a luxury suite, which includes free food during the game. And this time, we did this last year, but this time we're adding a hotel in the ultimate road trip. You get to stay the night and then come back the next day, hang out with some other avid sports fans right here from ESPN Northwest Florida. Again, all you got to do is open that app, crush the Enter Contest button, and hopefully get yourself an opportunity to win a chance to go on the Holland Hearts ESPN Northwest Florida Magic Express. We appreciate PCB Hobby, Panama City Toyota, Holland Hearts, Fairfield Inn, Hampton Inn on Thomas Drive, as well as Home 2 Suites for sponsoring this awesome contest. And speaking of awesome stuff, oh, go ahead, David.
Real quick with that contest, if you're having questions maybe on if you're actually entered or not, if you click Enter Contest and then close the app down and then bring the app back up and it doesn't say Enter Contest anymore, that means you're entered in to win the contest. So
there you go. There you go. Facts, Jack. Speaking of contests,
what you got?
Nothing. Oh. Now when is it officially? It's not the Gulf of America yet, is it?
I mean, I don't know if that's ever actually gonna.
I hope it does. But I saw Kramer Marine and Outdoor post a really cool post about it yesterday. It was very patriotic and Gulf of America. So I wanted to make sure we talked about our studio sponsor. That's Bill Kramer GM and Kramer Marine and Outdoor. Not necessarily the greatest time to be out in a boat right now, but hey, to each his own.
People don't like Commanders. They want to call everything Redskins or whatever. And I'm going to be so adamant about if it does change to Gulf of America.
Reprimanding everybody.
I'm gonna be like, Gulf of Mexico, you mean? I don't like change.
Yeah. No, I wanted to. Yeah.
It's just funny how people get when someone, does something. And they're like, oh, if I'm going to ride the coattails of this. Like, come on, man. Get your own set.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know where you can get those, those coattails. Maybe there's the Burlington. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the Coat Factory.
Yeah. There you go. But yeah, Bill Kramer, GM, Kramer Marine and Outdoor, right there at the corner of Frankfurt, 23rd Street. Tons of vehicles out there, new tires. They got express service, regular service, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be GM either for you to go get service there. And of course, they got lots of vehicles in stock, new and used, electric trucks, cars, supercars, whatever it may be. They got Hummers that will go around like a crab. So you can check out all those new and used vehicles right there at Bill Kramer GM. And of course, it is probably that time of year. It will be warm again eventually, although go out there and, not out there on the roads, but go out there in your yard or wherever you are and enjoy the snow that will soon start falling as it's getting ever so closer here to the Bay County line. Have some fun. But when it does get warm, your boat's going to need to be able to be ready to get back out on the water. And if you need your annual service done, now is the time to do it. That's Kramer Marine and Outdoor. They will come to you, or you can tow your boat to them. They'll get it done. You give them a call at 850-851-0453. And, of course, if you're looking to buy something new or used, they carry the CRI family of boats that is Seabourn, Spider, Sundance, and
Skeeter.
You can check out all that new and used inventory at KramerMarineandOutdoor.com, ladies and gentlemen. Jay Henley, if you're listening, you better have said Skeeter, my friend. Hopefully, if he's listening, then he's too close and he didn't get far enough away. Unless he's on the app or Facebook, whatever it may be. But yeah, little afternoon delight debrief action. I don't know if this is an afternoon delight debrief, but it's definitely an interesting story and one that I certainly would like to talk about. Jaden Daniels wakes up at 6 a.m. every day to train with virtual reality to prep for games. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah, I've seen this.
It's pretty cool. But Daniels uses a German virtual reality style simulator that enhances split-second reads in specific game situations in an immersive decision-making training. According to, I believe it was a husband and a wife that developed this particular one. But according to the company, the technology promotes cognitive training, sharper reflexes, and unlimited reps. And what's cool is that it's like
unlimited reps. Like, why is
what happens if the battery dies?
Oh, okay, I guess.
I guess that's the unlimited rep side of it.
But if the battery dies, then the reps are limited. So
yeah, false advertising.
Unlimited reps while battery's alive.
Yes, get yourself a battery
asterisk
pack
up there.
And also make sure you charge. If you have battery packs, charge them. If you just need to make sure you still got some power. But anyway, it's like real life. They load in the stadium that you're playing in. I'll get in there, and they'll probably give me 7 seconds to know the play. Pre-snap, I got to basically see the coverage and know where I'm going with the football, all before the play clock runs out. That was Jaden Daniels on using the virtual reality. It's the actual scheme. Say we are playing a big cover 3 team. They will have different versions of cover 3 we might see. So it's just like another way to prepare mentally before the game. You know, obviously these guys study film and all this stuff, but with these new these new things in technology and these people writing these software and all the different codes, I mean, pretty cool and I'm sure that that's very realistic when it comes to reading the coverages and having to make a decision on where to go with the football. But, you know, I thought that was a neat thing. I had no idea he had been doing that. And, you know, he's obviously it's paying off because he's doing pretty well as a rookie quarterback there in the NFL, where your speeds are significantly faster than college football as well. Hey, maybe I should do that locally.
I mean, it's becoming a big thing. I have a guy on who covers hockey with us, Andrew Weiss, and I don't know if he's still with them, but basically a virtual training thing for hockey.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
For players or goalies?
Both.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I did that Win Reality thing with Liam one time. It was cool, but it was so challenging to set up for him, like with the distances and all that stuff.
And then if someone else uses it, you have to recalibrate and all of that good stuff. Yeah.
If it's just you using it for whatever it is, it works pretty well.
Right. You know, like virtual reality kind of started becoming a thing when I was growing up, and I think I got such a bad taste in my mouth from how terrible it was then. And I'm just like, just give me a controller. If I want to do virtual reality things, I need a console and a controller.
Yeah.
Send the truck right now, baby.
That's it. That is it. If I want to do virtual reality, just walk outside and do it.
Well, no, because I mean the chances of the bridge being are pretty high. So I might be kicking it here tonight. And
there you go. It's warm, right?
Can be.
Sometimes it can be a little too warm.
I have no idea. I might just spend the night in the snow.
There you go.
Yeah, build me a fire.
It'll melt the snow.
There you go.
And you'll be able to get across that bridge, that's for sure.
There you go. I'll build a fire on the bridge.
Yeah, there you go.
I need to get home. Watch out, you first responders.
You just keep pushing it a little further down the bridge. It's melted. We're good.
Y'all use salt. I use fire.
The original snow melter. Oh, goodness.
Get one of them, what are the flamethrowers?
Yeah. Apparently you can get those pretty easy to get nowadays. Oh, but hey, did want to give a shout out. Sports Illustrated put out the 35 standout stadiums across the Sunshine State. And Tom, got a caller in line. Who do we got out there?
This is Right State Chris. How you doing?
Hey, Chris. How are you, man?
Public service announcement.
Yeah. Hey, figured best time to talk about driving in the snow or not driving in the snow. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about being up in New Jersey or not, but everyone out there, if you're listening, what I like to do is hit on a nice straight street, hit the accelerator a little bit, and then hit my brakes immediately and see if I keep on skidding.
Yeah, that's a good test. That's a good test.
That's what I do out there. Also, none of y'all know how to drive in the snow. Obviously, you do, Ryan. But make sure the first responders aren't worrying about your dumb butts trying to drive around in the snow and getting into accidents. Make sure the streets are clear, please. Let's not put anyone else's lives at risk out there, because we don't have the preparations enough to make sure we've got the beet juice out there, which is now like the beet juice and the brine is what they line the streets with up north to make sure that it doesn't freeze over. And just want to make sure everyone out there is safe and not doing anything crazy, because we don't want to put anyone else's lives in danger. I mean, do you agree, Ryan?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of like when we have hurricanes and stuff like that, too. I mean, the more people that are out there that can get in trouble, the more it's got to take focus from the first responders and putting their lives in danger as well. And obviously what you said in the beginning there was pure sarcasm, and the moral of this story is if you don't need to be out really just don't be out on the roads at all when we have freezing precipitation.
Stories with morals are just
boring. But yeah, no, I mean, we're not prepared, and that's why these things don't happen very often down here. And stay where you are, go enjoy it outside in your backyard or your front yard or whatever it may be, and get you a trash can lid, find a little hill, and just get you some sledding going.
Or get some cardboard, something. Get
your boogie board, right? Everybody's got a boogie board around here, or a skim board. That'll work just fine on the proverbial snow. But we'll see how much we really get and what it actually looks like. And in 2 days from now, there probably won't be anything left. So enjoy Winter Storm Enzo of 2025.
Do you think that any of your Bay Point lakes will be good enough to skate on?
No, somebody, I think one of my kids asked me about freezing water, and I was like, it's not going to be 25 for 3 days. It's going to be like 31. So in order for water to freeze, you got to have it significantly under freezing for a while.
We can test it out. I'm down for some foot hockey on some ice. What time you want to meet over there?
That'd be cold, quick. I was always excited. Even in South Carolina, every once in a while we had some deep freezes, but never enough to actually be able to skate on any of the ponds at the golf course I worked at, unfortunately.
In Indiana, where I lived in northern Indiana, they would, for a couple months out of the year, they would flood some of the basketball courses, so you would have outdoor ice rinks for people.
Nice.
But obviously they're not going to do that around here.
Yeah,
so,
no, absolutely.
I did think it was really cool in some of those bigger cities. Like I'd go to Windsor a couple times. In Detroit, they'd have
That's where Marty from Boston is Windsor. Windsor in Massachusetts, anyway.
Oh wow, yeah. I liked all the outdoor ice skating. I thought that would be so cool. Like all those kids going and being able to play outdoor hockey and everything. I thought pick up hockey when they could. I thought that was really cool.
Pick up hockey on a pond that's top notch. Doesn't get much better.
I never had the experience. I ice skated a couple times. My mom's a big ice skater, but she was a figure skater. But yeah, being able to actually like skate out there and the snow falling and everything, I thought that would be such a cool thing. Obviously, that's why they have the NHL games outside.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that is have you ever driven in a whiteout before in a blizzard or tried to?
Yes, unfortunately. And my 1997 Dodge Avenger was a rear-wheel drive car, and I had to go up hills to get to where my house was, and I can remember fishtailing quite a bit trying to get where I needed to go. The problem was, we'd go to school in the morning at 7 o'clock, and then by the time 11 o'clock rolled around, you'd have 6 or 7 inches of snow on the ground, and you're pretty much at that point damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I don't know. It was just obviously a lot different up there, but driving. And my dad, I was in the car one time when he hit a nice stretch of black ice, and you do have to know how to navigate those things, but you don't have to know how to navigate them if you're not out on the road driving.
Yeah. I've been in rural Ohio. It was definitely whiteout conditions. I was going 5 miles an hour. Ended up in a ditch, but obviously I wasn't going fast enough I had a wrecker pick me up and take me to the place I needed to go. But the snow drifts are the craziest because there's nothing to stop the snow. So it just keeps on going and going and going. It's crazy. So anyways, I thought I could get my 2 cents in. Just about everyone out there, just be safe.
Yeah.
Just don't put anyone out and anyone else in danger. Luckily, we don't have a lot of hills around here, but don't go down a hill.
Yeah.
Just like
Well, all it
probably
takes
not
is
gonna
a
stop.
slight incline, and you're not getting anywhere. Especially, I'm just looking at the Weather Channel right now. It looks like Jacksonville's going to get a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of ice. That's way worse, than a couple 2-3 inches of snow, because ice is the worst.
It has to be the perfect conditions for ice too. It can't be too hot, can't be too cold, and it's just and you don't want ice. So
Nope.
like
Ice
at all.
breaks tree limbs, power lines, all that stuff. If we just get
You
snow
lose
here
power.
in PCB, that'll be fine.
Yeah. Yep. So, all right. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah,
Be
thanks for the
safe,
call,
everyone
Chris.
out
Hope you're
there.
doing well,
Yep.
and we'll talk to you soon.
I'll try to get some more brownies for y'all. I know you got AG, but I'll try to get some more stuff for y'all soon. So
We got to keep Jay fed. That's for sure. That's when he's here. When he's here. Oh, but well, be safe, right, State Chris. We appreciate you giving us a call.
see you, Ryan. See you, Dave. All right, bye.
Take care.
See you, bub.
All right, real quick, back to found this one. Sports Illustrated put out a list of the top 32 standout field stadiums across the Sunshine State, and our very own Tommy Oliver Stadium made that list of 32. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but I'm going to mention.
Come on, 1 through 32. Let's go.
Oh man, I don't
How
know.
many do you think we'll actually know about?
Well, here I can.
No, don't.
No, I'm just going to say where. Obviously, Tommy Oliver Stadium.
Texas has probably got like the top 10.
All right. Well, Eagle Stadium in Niceville was on the list as well.
Really?
Yeah.
That is one of the nicer ones, yeah.
And then Traz Powell Stadium in Miami, Bryant Stadium in Lakeland. Lakeland's got a really big time football program down there. Powell Davis Stadium in Venice. Let's see.
Is this just Florida? Or
Just
is
Florida.
This, oh,
so
okay.
32 standout stadiums in Florida, according to Sports Illustrated. Spec Martin Stadium in DeLand, which I believe is where they play the soccer state championship, which, speaking of soccer state championship, in about 5 minutes, we'll have Coach Jonah Hammond on the line. Then we got Sponger Stadium in Tarpon Springs, Boot Hill Stadium in Madison, Tommy Roberts Stadium in Key West. That's actually a really cool stadium, and if you've ever flown into Key West, you can kind of see it when you're flying in as well. The Bulldogs Stadium in Zephyr Hills. Let's see, you got Fireman's Field in Sebring, Florida. That's down there kind of in the southeast corner of the peninsula. Staver Field in Naples. You've got Dad's Stadium in Tampa. It's a pretty simple name there.
What's
Dad's? Like
DADS.
DAD apostrophe S.
I bet they have a great Father's Day celebration over there.
I would think so. Ted Cooper Stadium in Bluntstown. That's another local stadium there. The Anquan Bolden Stadium in Pahokee, or I'm assuming I pronounced that correctly. Yeah. The IMG Field in Bradenton, of course, when you got all that kind of money, you can build quite the field. The Bears Stadium in St. John's. The Pit in Palatka. And then you've got the Annie Mae Phillips Stadium in Hawthorne, the Legion Field in Lake Wells. I'm assuming that's where Coach Hales coached at Lake Wells. I'm guessing that is the field that they played on, just a guess. The W.F. Edwards Stadium in Dade City. And then you've got Thomas E. Wiggum Stadium in Samford, Tropical Park in Miami, Hawkins Stadium in Bradenton, Billy Livings Field in Vero Beach. You got Steve Riggs Stadium in Fort Walton Beach. That's actually, we were talking to Max Staver from QB Vision. Yeah. That's where the Elite Retreat and the QB Next is going to be. And I saw a picture. That's a pretty impressive facility over there in Fort Walton Beach. All turf, beautiful, huge stands, all that stuff. Bishop Kenny Field in Jacksonville. As we already mentioned, Tommy Oliver Stadium right here in Panama City Beach. One of the larger high school stadiums you'll stumble across in the Florida Panhandle. It becomes tough to fill up unless it's a rivalry game. When Mosley and Niceville met this past 2024 season, Tommy Oliver was rocking for the rivalry game. It provided a unique feel and definitely stood out of one of the better stadiums in the 850. Booster Stadium in Ocala is another one. Brian Piccolo Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. Brian Sunk, great book, great movie. Wayne Pridgeon Stadium in Chiefland. H.L. Brumley Stadium in St. Augustine. David Hurst Stadium in Stark, or Starkey, I'm guessing it's Stark. And that rounds out your 32 standout stadiums, according to Sports Illustrated. 3 in our listening area there.
Niceville.
4, actually.
Beach.
4.
Yeah, Bluntstown.
And then Tommy Oliver.
Nice.
So, hey, getting some recognition there for, Gene and Jeanette Field there at Tommy Oliver Stadium.
Yep. And the Don Heaton press box is where I spend most of my time.
That's it. Who's Don Heaton?
He was the radio announcer, I believe radio announcer. Might have just been the PA announcer for the Rams and for Bay High back in the day.
Nice,
so,
nice. Very cool.
Luckily, I've read that plaque a few times, bro, so I feel like, I don't know, bro.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I was just...
No, luckily, my brain just I was like, my first initial was like, dude, I don't know. And then, oh, wait, yes, I do know.
That's why reading is important, because knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Let's see. We got... I was going to do one quick afternoon delight debrief, but we're about that time.
30 seconds, huh?
All right. We'll go ahead and we'll go to break. We'll get Coach Jonah Hammond on the line. I know we weren't able to get to him yesterday, but he's got a lot going on right now. So looking forward to talking to him here in the next segment as they prepare for another state playoff run for the Arnold Marlins boys soccer team. You guys listen to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the most college basketball.
Three-pointer, college basketball is back.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
The SEC, ACC, and beyond.
Oh, you saw that coming, Rampant.
The biggest games play right here.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday afternoon. The rest of the day, a mixture of clouds and light snow with an accumulation between 1 and 2 inches, and 39 with a blustery wind out of the north at 18 miles per hour. For tonight, a variety of flurries and mostly clouds and a low near 27. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a high around 39. This weather forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Whether you're an experienced investor or first-time buyer, Beach House will provide you with top-notch service to guide you through every step of the process. We make the real estate process fun and easy through effective marketing, strategic advertising, and always a client-focused experience. From single-family homes to full-scale developments, Beach House Sales Development has you covered. Check them out at beachhousesalesfl.com or give them a call at 850-919-3500.
Hello? Honey, my radio is making this loud squeaking noise when I'm stopping my car. I really think I might need new speakers.
Oh, why don't you try turning down the radio, hon?
It just got worse.
Maybe we should take it down to Alford Tire and Service Center, and maybe they can figure out what's going on. At Alford Tire and Service Center, we provide peace and quiet with the radio off. So if your car is making a strange noise, come and see us for your free visual safety inspection today. Located on Tyndall Parkway in beautiful Callaway, we do it all at Alford Tire and Service Center.
Back to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's alive! Look alive! We're alive!
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. It's been a little while, but it's our pleasure to welcome Coach Jonah Hammond back to The Inside Drive. Last year's national champion in boys soccer across all of the land. Coach Hammond, how are you doing today?
Hey, guys, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good, doing good. Let's just jump right into it, Coach. Right now, you guys are 12th in the nation, 3rd in Florida, 2nd in Florida 5A. You lost a lot of players from last year's team. How do you keep rebuilding, and what is it about your program that you continue to have so much success year in and year out?
Yeah, I think just the culture we've created within the program, the expectations for the players coming up. We had several players last year that were kind of in the wings waiting to get that starting opportunity, and they got to see what it takes to be a state champion and national champion, and so they've done a good job of just carrying that along this season. And so it's not easy. We lost 9 starters, so we have 2 returning starters. So we've just been blessed this year to have some guys step up and play soccer at an elite level.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, most normal teams, when you lose almost 90% of your starting roster, are going to take a little while to rebuild and get back to that level. But not you guys, that's for sure. And how much does, these guys, you said they were waiting in the wings, obviously been on the team. How much does the practice that they're going against those starters that now have all left help develop them to be ready? Obviously, playing, it's kind of like when you have in football, when you're going against a top-notch defense and you're the first offense going against that. It's kind of like the same thing. It's obviously going to, they're quote-unquote playing one of the best teams in the country, in every practice. That's got to just go a long way to prepare them for when it comes for them to be starters.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely, and even for our starters, we say that some of our toughest opponents were in practice, playing against guys that are trying to take their position, that, are always competing to get onto the field. And so, again, it's the environment and the culture we've created where, these guys are always competing and playing at a high level. And so we also I have these guys year-round through Florida Roots, through the club. And so that definitely helps as well.
Yeah, no doubt. We've talked about that with you before, and kind of how you can start kind of getting these guys into your system at a younger age. So by the time they come up to the big boy plate, I should say, they're ready for what it takes. You were talking about the competition in practice. Obviously competition breeds success. Is there always an opportunity for starters to be interchanged in certain situations, or is it are these guys kind of they've got their spot, and despite maybe a huge change in something, they're pretty much locked in?
Yeah, I would say it's close, right? There's probably a couple positions where we can change. The other positions seem to be locked in at this point of the season.
Yeah.
But then you have to make sure the other guys are ready, because injuries happen, and you need somebody to step up. And sometimes the personnel changes based on the team we're playing and the formation we're going to play. And so we might need an extra defender. We might take away an attacker. We might need an attacker and take away a defender. And so there's different things that we can do, and we have players that we can go to on the bench that are ready to step in if called upon.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously now the regular season is over. What's kind of obviously I think the districts start here pretty soon. What's that schedule look like for you guys? And if I'm not mistaken, I think things might have been delayed a little bit because of the winter weather we'll experience a little bit later on today.
Yeah, we were supposed to play on Friday, and so that has been moved back to Monday. So basically, we're in a 5-team district, and kind of even going back to the district and even our region, that is new this year. Every 2 years, it gets changed. They look at the attendance of the numbers in the school, and we were actually a few numbers below 5A, but homeschool kids that play sports at Arnold put us probably like 6 or 7 above. And so, we were almost in 4A. So now we're in 5A. And when you look at the rankings, 5A is the toughest class in soccer in the state of Florida. I think you have the top 5 teams. I think 4 of them are 5A. 2 of them are from our region. So when we look at our district's tough. Our region is the toughest region in soccer, and so it's not going to be easy. And so we'll have to play Leon on Monday, is my guess, if they get past Mosley, which I think Mosley has the ability, if they play their best game, to beat them. But so if I was a betting man, I would probably say we're going to play Leon. I think they just have a little more experience. I know Mosley has lost a couple players to injury, so probably play Leon Monday, and then we'll play the winner of Charles and Lincoln on Wednesday. So not much of a time to prepare, and a quick turnaround there because of the storm.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And, you're talking about how difficult the region is and, in 5A especially. And were you guys in 5A last year, too? Because I know you've been kind of back and forth between the 4A and 5A, obviously making it to the state finals in each particular classification.
Yeah, the first one we won was 4A. The very next year, we got moved to 5A, and we went back to the state championship. And so we've been in 5A the past 3 years. We won the 5A state championship last year. But this year, a lot of the 6A teams got moved down. Like, I think everybody in our district this year was 6A. So you have teams dropping down from 6A into 5A. And we were on the bubble for 4A. But now we're in 5A. So you have teams like Childs, like Leon, Lincoln, Mosley. So some would have been pretty big schools. And so, Gulf Breeze dropped down in the other district. So a lot of good teams. It's if you don't show up and play your game, you can get beat in any one of these games. So.
Absolutely. And it's kind of, the way you schedule your regular season schedule. Obviously, there's certain games you have to play, but you try to schedule very challenging competition. I know your strength of schedule is 11.2 on Max Preps, which is way higher than anybody else in the top 5 of the Class 5A rankings in the state of Florida. And I know that's by design, because by the time you get to the playoffs, you know how difficult the competition is going to be. And the best way to be ready for that is obviously to play very difficult competition throughout the regular season as well.
Yeah, we always schedule. There was 2 games that we didn't have on our schedule that we got to see. Oh, these 2 teams are playing really well. They're within a few hours of us. Let me reach out to those coaches and see if we can get a game. For us, it's never about an undefeated season or undefeated regular season, because you don't get a trophy for undefeated regular season.
No doubt.
And so we want to prepare our guys. We want them to face adversity. We want them to see different formations, different teams, and we think that prepares them for what they'll see in the playoffs. So.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And I saw a post, too, on Facebook talking about getting the fans out there to Gavlak Stadium. 59 straight victories at home for your program. What is it about playing at home that you guys just seem to... Obviously, you guys are fantastic regardless of where you're playing, but 59 straight at home at Gavlak is a pretty insane number to win.
Yeah, that's wild. I think that's going back probably 5 years. So, yeah, I think it is the fans that come out and support the atmosphere. It's just I don't know, just playing at home, being on a field that we enjoy playing on, a nice grass field that the boys feel very comfortable at, and so last year and the few years before that, we always have a good turnout in playoffs, and the atmosphere is great. And so, that's why it's important to get people out to the games to support these guys, because it's kind of like the 12th man, So, we're excited. We will host the 2 district games at home, and depending on how the rankings come out after that, we could host the next 2 or 3 regionals at home. And that's huge.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. So the next game that you guys have at home is going to be on the 27th, correct?
If that is Monday, that is correct.
Yes, that is Monday, yeah, and you'll face the winner of Leon and Mosley. And like you said, Mosley obviously has a chance to beat Leon, but dealing with some injuries and likely could be Leon County coming to Gavlak Stadium. But that's going to be Monday, the 27th. So if you want to get out there and watch some fantastic soccer and obviously support, one of the best programs here in Bay County that has been for several years, I encourage you to get out there to Gavlak Stadium on Monday night. Should be a little little warmer on Monday night as well, and hopefully all this,
Yeah, we're hoping so.
hopefully this snow weather will be out of here. Speaking of this crazy weather, the kids aren't in school. Obviously, school was canceled Tuesday and tomorrow. What are you guys doing? Obviously, regular season's over. Here we are on the cusp of the playoffs. What is the team doing right now to prepare for this playoff run?
Yeah, we had a 4-hour training session yesterday where we spent 2 hours in film and then 2 hours on the field. We will get together tonight on Zoom and go over some video from our last game, go over our next opponent. With the games kind of back-to-back, you got to, as a coach, you got to kind of look ahead and prepare for if you win the game Monday, the game Wednesday, because there is only one day in between. And so we're just trying to cover everything. We're trying to work on set pieces that people haven't seen. We're trying to make sure we've crossed our T's and dotted our I's, and we are ready to go when it comes to this this playoff season. I look at it like 3 tournaments, right? So you got the first tournament in districts where you have 2 games, and if you win those 2 games, you get a trophy for it. And you can lose one of those 2 games and still move on, but obviously the goal for us is to win everything we play. And so we win those 2 games, good, you won your first tournament. Now you move on to the next tournament. You got to win 3 games. You win those 3 games, you win your next trophy. And then finally, if you win the regionals, then you have 2 games, Final Four, state championship, and then you win a trophy there as well. So we kind of break it up into 3 tournaments and attack it like that.
Yeah, makes sense. I heard you talking, about watching film, obviously, on your opponents. And how does the film stuff work? Do you have to, go out and get the film? Do the coaches provide the film? Because obviously, people are watching film on you guys as well. So just kind of curious on how the film study and preparation works in the soccer world.
Yeah, so there's a couple ways. You have coaches that I have coaches that I talk to that we share ideas with and work together. And if they have film, they'll share it with me. If I have film, I'll share it with them. But also, some of these teams have the NFHS network. And so that is a network where you can see a lot of the home games live. A lot of teams have that camera in their stadium, and so they're broadcasting it to everybody in the United States. So I'll go online and watch their games and take notes from there. And so we have the same camera in our stadium, but I make sure that thing's not on when we're playing.
There you go. Well, Coach, obviously you talked about a lot of new starters in the rotation this season. Talk about some of your standout players from the regular season so far this year.
Yeah, I think my biggest concern was our defense, losing your entire back line, your goalkeeper. I think just starting from there, I think you start with Lincoln Ginn. I think he's stepped up and is playing, some of his best soccer right now as our goalkeeper, making some great saves, great decisions on the ball, and has been very good with his feet. And so it starts with him. If you don't have a good goalkeeper, you probably don't have a good soccer team. So that's important. So Lincoln would be, the start, and then you go to your back line. And most of my back line, except for probably one player, are midfielders that we had to turn into defenders. And they've done what's best for the team, and that's Zach Hotop, that's Clint Wizard, that's Nolan. And sometimes we'll get Rooney or Isaac in there to play. Isaac's dealing with an injury right now, but those guys have stepped up and played amazing. I mean, when you look at how many goals we've allowed, in our games, there's not many. So our midfield is run by Camilo and Fern, and they do an amazing job at controlling the middle of the field. We'll even have Josh Moore in there, who gets to step in, and then up top and out wide, you have Zach Wickard out wide. This kid moved from Pittsburgh this year. Another kid, Travis Novak, moved from Seattle. scoring a lot of goals for us. You have Thomas and Deshaun, who have been great as well, and Carson Stewart, who's been really good for us, playing multiple positions. So it's a collective thing, you know. When you look at who scored our goals, we've spread it around. It's not just one person. You can't just stop one of us. You have to worry about all of us, and so that's been great for our team. And you know, unfortunately, we have one of our key players that's dealing with an injury right now. We hope he could come back at least for regionals. But other than that, I think everybody's pretty healthy for the most part and ready to go.
Man, sounds good. Yeah, that's a good winning formula when there's not just one you got to stop, when you got to stop a host of Marlins. That can certainly lead to a lot of success. Coach, remind everybody real quick before we let you go about the next game and get everybody out there to Gavlak Stadium.
Yeah, the next game is against Leon High School. We played them once at home already, and I think that score is you know, it's going to be much different this time. We beat them 6-0 last time. And, you know, what they've been able to do in their past 3 or 4 games, tying and even beating some teams ranked higher than them, almost tying a team that we tied. You know, they ended up losing in the last minute. So they've definitely improved, and they're physical. It's going to be a battle, and we just want everybody to come out and support us on Monday at 7 o'clock at Gavlak. It'll be an exciting game, and you definitely don't want to miss it. So.
Yeah, no doubt. I will say this, you know, my wife's getting more and more into soccer, and we came out to a couple of the regional playoff games last year, and the one that was really intense, I forget who it was against, and she's like, man, this is fun to watch, because it was great, intense soccer. So, I mean, I encourage, if you're a fan of sports at all, get out and not only support the Arnold Marlins boys soccer team, but get yourself an opportunity to watch some fantastic soccer as well, right here in our own backyard. Coach, we appreciate your time as always. Stay safe and good luck, and maybe we'll talk to you sometime in the next couple weeks as you guys continue your journey through the playoffs.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good day.
All right, y'all are listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be back before Snowstorm Enzo gets going.
It's here. On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. More opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
So you've heard the saying that if you love your job, you'll never have to work? Well, it's true.
I've worked for Brock Lawn and Pest Control for many years. The commitment to the needs of customers
and their commitment to each employee makes Brock a company I'm very proud to be a part of.
Brock's core values are also mine. Give people more than they expect, and always honor your promises.
This isn't a job. It's a service to help people live a healthier lifestyle.
Brock Lawn and Pest Control. Our family protecting your family.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
The Women's Civic Club of Panama City Beach is celebrating 60 years of caring and sharing in our community with the Diamond Jubilee Gala Dance and Charity Auction. Come out, mingle with friends, dance to great music, bid on fun auctions, and support a worthy cause. The Diamond Jubilee Gala Dance and Charity Auction is Saturday, February 1st from 6 until 10 at the Boardwalk Beach Hotel and Convention Center, 9600 South Thomas Drive. For details, visit the Women's Civic Club, WCCPCB.org.
How did you start your day? You know, routine doesn't have to be ordinary. Hi, Doug Chamberlain with the Samaritan Ministries Family Health Checkup. Starting a regular morning routine prepares us to have a productive day, and it has many benefits. First, it can lower stress levels if you rise early because you're not rushed. Not a morning person? Well, start by setting your alarm clock 15 minutes earlier than you do now, working your way up to your desired wake-up time. Drink a glass of water to revitalize your body, and then move, stretch, or take a walk. Just 10 minutes of intentional movement makes a difference. Spend some time in God's Word and prayer, and journal how God has blessed you. Eat a good breakfast and take time to connect with your spouse and family as the day begins. Starting your morning on the right foot can lead to an extraordinary day. For more, visit us on Facebook or at familyhealthcheckup.org.
From the fairway to the rough.
I was hoping to squeeze in 9 holes before this rain starts.
From the greens to the bunker.
Certainly, Your Eminency.
It's the Inside Drive with Ryan and Jay from the Bill Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studio.
The good Lord would never disrupt the best game of my life.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. I feel like I'm in the lobby of a video game. That was an intense one there.
We've got like a whole bunch of, I guess Bone Crusher's been loading us up with this new bumper music, so I'm just trying them out, man. I'm just seeing what sticks and what doesn't.
That was, we'll see what sticks here shortly with all this snow about to be upon us. I know Crestview, Destin, it's starting to come down as we speak. Winter Storm Enzo is upon us here in the Florida Panhandle. Remember, just be safe. Don't go out there and drive. There's no need to drive. There's no need to drive. Have what you have at home. If you need some water, just eat the snow. Just not the yellow snow. But usually the yellow snow is made by something. I know a lot of kids in this area are sitting on go here, pretty excited.
Yeah, I mean, I would be too. I'm excited myself, honestly. I'm going to go out there and have a snowball fight by myself.
Hey.
I'm going to look at myself in the reflection of the door that we have there and just, I guarantee I win.
Yeah, you probably will.
The sucker ain't going to throw nothing back at me that's going to hit me.
Yeah, why don't you bounce off and get
that would be an icy snowball.
Ooh, that would be. Probably break that.
Let's not talk about that.
No, don't.
Then I'll be in trouble.
In trouble. But yes, hopefully everybody stay safe out there. Again, I know the Coach James Hale show won't be, and the Inside Drive won't be live tomorrow. Don't know about the Afternoon Underdog.
Just depends. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out.
Might not be live this afternoon.
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah. That's the plan.
Yeah. You could just, open up the window and just do it from the snow.
We're live out here with Jim Cantore.
It is breezy, though. It is breezy.
Yeah.
A little snowstorm indeed. All right. Well, yesterday, as quick as the Lions lost and are out of the playoffs, as quick as Ben Johnson is the new head coach of the Chicago Bears. Obviously, Matt Eberflus was fired back on November 29th, and here comes Ben Johnson. And I think Caleb Williams is pretty excited. Dave, what do you think about old Ben Johnson coming in and being the new coach of the Chicago Bears? His first ever head coaching gig.
It's another one of those lots of pizzazz. Let's see how it works out for him. I think that they needed to go into the direction of an offensive mind. Ben Johnson's been doing very good with the Detroit Lions, so it could work out, but it could also implode right in their faces again. When an organization is not ran well from the top, then it tends to be problematic. So we'll see, man. This is the guy that a lot of Chicago Bears fans wanted, so they got who they wanted. Now, will it be able to work out? Will Ben Johnson be able to cohabitate, bring the cohesion to the Chicago Bears offense with Caleb Williams? Is Caleb Williams that guy for the Chicago Bears and for Ben Johnson? We'll see, man. Obviously, Caleb Williams is on that rookie deal right now, so you want things to click ASAP. We'll see if it does. Right now, you just can never tell. Is like Shane Steichen over there did great with the Eagles. Has it really worked to this point for the Colts? I mean, hey, they're not as bad as the Titans, so there is that aspect of it. But yeah, there's a lot of pizzazz, a lot of attraction, but let's wait until we see results from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, sometimes being an OC is a little different than being a head coach. Obviously, as an OC, you are in charge of the offense and all the branches that fall underneath that. But as the head coach, you are basically the CEO of that football team from the operational standpoint. So, is Ben Johnson ready for that task to, take on a very challenging organization, like David said, and we talked about it yesterday. The Washington Commanders kind of flipped the entire script, got rid of ownership, GMs, head coaches, brought all new people in, and obviously Jaden Daniels is a big part of that. But sometimes you got to wash the entire load of laundry in order to get clean and be moving in the right direction. New England Patriots, we already know this one. They hired Mike Vrabel back on January 12th, fired Gerard Mayo when the regular season ended back on January 5th. Obviously, Mike Vrabel played for the New England Patriots from 2001 to 2008 and was an integral part of the 3 Super Bowl championship teams during that time frame. Did a great job, really, as the Tennessee Titans head coach with a 54-45 regular season record and a 2-3 mark in the playoffs, which included a trip to the AFC Championship back in 19 and got the Associated Press Coach of the Year back in 2021. Obviously replacing Mayo, who was fired, but the Patriots had a 4-13 record in the one season as the Patriots head coach. I think Vrabel's going to do a good job in New England. I think he's a culture guy, and I think New England needs that culture, and he knows Robert Kraft, and that's a big part of that.
I mean, Robert Kraft knew Gerard Mayo as well, so there is that, but there's a proven track record with what Mike Vrabel brings to the table. And Gerard Mayo, when you're a player's coach and you're just, kind of getting into the NFL, there was one story told about them being, I believe, on a plane. They might have been in the locker room, but instead of watching film with the other coaches, he was playing cards with the players. And those are situations where you're starting to kind of blur the lines a little bit. With Vrabel, we already know that he's somewhat of a player's guy, but he's a man's man, and kind of similar to Dan Campbell, maybe a little bit more professionally a better speaker. Yeah, Yeah. But obviously, the sound bites that come from Dan Campbell are amazing. We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see if it works out. Again, they've got a couple of different directions that they could go with quarterback there. Drake May was one of the better rookie quarterbacks, and then you saw what Joe Milton III could do in his final game of the season. So it'll be interesting. I'm slightly rooting for him just because I really wish that we would have never got rid of him. I wish that they would have tried to make the relationship between Ran Carthon and Mike Vrabel work, and I think that Ran Carthon's exit was too soon in Tennessee. I don't think that you don't get to the number 1 pick and then say, you know what, your services here are no longer needed. But when you can't make your mind up as the owner, that's you're going to continue to keep the Tennessee Titans in a purgatory that the fans don't want to be in.
Good way to describe it, purgatory.
Well, that's what it is right now.
Stuck. You can't. Yeah, no doubt. Some other head coaching openings right now. Obviously, famously, the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, didn't really let him go. It's just his contract expired, so he started talking to other people. McCarthy was 50-38 over 5 seasons, but the exits in the playoffs certainly were the big ones there. Las Vegas Raiders have an open spot. Pierce is gone. The GM is gone. A lot of changes out there in Vegas. Kind of thought Ben Johnson might be going to Vegas. He was obviously on the plane with Tom Brady, leaving that, coming back home in that one. But obviously he is now with the Bears. So interesting to see who the Vegas Raiders will pick up. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they got another interview with Robert Saleh coming up this Friday. I'm really hoping Saleh goes back to the Niners as the defensive coordinator because we just need a DC that's got that energy. And I'm still surprised that they fired Saleh at the Jets. I mean, he's a defensive coach, but he's like you were talking about. He's a coach where the Dan Campbell style, where you feel the D'Amico Ryan similar style, just energetic. The players respond to that kind of stuff. But yeah, he's got another interview this Friday again with the Jaguars, and Blaylock is making it tough for the Niners to try to get him back there as their DC. And of course, the Saints fired Dennis Allen a little while ago, actually back on November 4th, and we'll see who moves into that spot. And then, as I just mentioned, the New York Jets is another open spot there for your head coaching positions in the NFL. If you were an NFL head coach and those open spots were left, which one would you want to go to, David?
Probably Jacksonville for the snow aspect of it.
Yeah, they're about to get some later on today. Yeah.
Man, that one's tough. It would, to bring a championship to the Jets would be amazing, but what's the reality of that?
you don't even
especially
really
with
know
all
what
of
your
the
quarterback
stories
situation is.
right?
Yeah.
Especially with all the stories that have came out about Woody Johnson over there. Jacksonville, just for weather purposes, and that that's probably the best quarterback spot right now, right? Would be then.
You would think Trevor Lawrence, most experience.
Yeah, but is the window closing on Trevor Lawrence? That's another aspect that you have to look
More
at.
injuries starting to happen. Yeah,
I would say that Jacksonville's probably the most attractive opening at this point in time. Well, I hate to say it, but the Cowboys is still attractive, right? It's just
as far as
can you mesh with Jerry Jones?
Yeah, and is Jerry Jones going to let you actually do your job with, no one likes to be micromanaged, let alone micromanaging while you're trying to coach a football team. But yeah, I would say between Jacksonville and Dallas, as much as that pains me to say that, I think they've got the opportunity and got the players, even though Parsons is probably gone. They really need to figure out their running back situation, but they've got a decently high draft pick and see what happens there. But
trade with the Titans.
There you go.
You know you want that number one pick. Get you some Deion Sanders.
I was going to say,
there.
do you think Deion Sanders will be an NFL head coach going into the next season?
No, I don't. I don't. The only way is if whoever it is trades for before Deion even. It either needs to be written down somewhere, a written contract, or they need to go ahead and trade for the number one pick. That's the only way that you're getting Deion Sanders to coach your squad, to move to the NFL. And even then, I think that I honestly think he wants to let Shedeur be Shedeur in the NFL.
At this time, he's like, all right, it's right. You can go. Like, hey, it's time for you to go be coached by somebody else.
Yeah.
And me to take a step back and let you shine.
And I think that what he's built over there in Boulder and kind of being on top in that area, I think that he enjoys that, man. And I think that they've got a good thing going over there. And if they can continue on that, then that could take them to other places in the collegiate world.
Yeah.
Or I just think that he's more of a guy that would like to see young men succeed. And because of his faith in Christ, I think that he's more impressionable on the young men more so than the NFL locker room.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the NFL locker room guys, and I mean this as nice as possible, the NFL guys don't see him as a superior, so to speak, in the hierarchy of what coaching means.
But they probably still get a little bit starstruck by him. It's prime time.
Prime time indeed. I just saw a report here, David. There was a spot in the New Orleans area that had 10.5 inches of snow.
10.5.
That is unprecedented for down here in the Gulf Coast, the Gulf of America coast. Maybe one day. But yeah, we got a couple minutes left. Obviously some jobs. You got the TLT.
Why don't they just call it the Mexican-American Gulf then? Just give it to both.
American-Mexican.
Okay, American-Mexican.
Amex.
I think
Amex.
The Amex. Yeah.
You're welcome, America.
We're going to start sponsoring.
Yes. Yeah. The Gulf of America.
Waves Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, brought to you by the American-Mexico Gulf of Mexico.
The specific Pacific Ocean.
Oh, yes, the specific Pacific. But yeah, I got some TGL action coming up tonight.
Oh, Jay, break it down for us.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to be hitting into a screen.
And I like it better than real golf. What? You do? That's crazy, man. It's not the same.
Still, I haven't watched
a lick of it?
Outside of catching up with it on Twitter so I can ask Alan Watson questions.
There you go. But there's some. I wasn't going to get to this today because I want Jay to be here for this one. But there's a lot of rumors going around right now that there's some fishy stuff going on with some of the top PGA Tour players and withdrawing and not playing in events until a Live PGA partnership is come to an agreement. So we'll talk about that later on in the week. But yeah, TGL is rocking tonight as well. Lots of good basketball. We talked about that with Doc A little bit later on. And of course, our seasons are winding down. College football is officially done. And we got a couple championship games coming up this weekend. And then in a few weeks, it'll be the Super Bowl. Looking forward to talking to Aaron on Friday to see who the winner of the Pro Bowl.
The winner of winter.
The winner of winter. Enzo right now, that's for sure. That's for sure. But yeah, we appreciate you hanging out with us here on, we won't be live tomorrow, but we will certainly be back on Thursday. Y'all be careful, stay off the roads, and enjoy that snow.
ESPN Northwest Florida Hall and Arts Magic Express. We're taking a busload of sports fanatics on the ultimate road trip to watch the Orlando Magic play the Sacramento Kings March 29th at the Kia Center. Plus hotel and food during the game. Just open the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app and click Enter Contest. Sponsored by PCB Hobby, Panama City, Toyota, Hall & Hearts, and Fairfield Hampton Inn on Thomas and Home 2 Suites.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Tuesday afternoon. The rest of the day, a mixture of clouds and light snow with an accumulation between 1 and 2 inches, and 39 with a blustery wind out of the north at 18 miles per hour. For tonight, a variety of flurries and mostly clouds and a